what they're mad about. 41 nationally televised games, and they are furious over it. I can't understand.
The WNBA is currently facing more than just a minor disagreement. It's in the midst of a growing divide among its fan base. On one side, there are reports suggesting that A'ja Wilson and some of her teammates may be considering sitting out games, involving Caitlin Clark. On the other side are the millions of new fans Caitlin has brought to women's basketball through her exceptional skill and charisma, many of whom are left wondering why anyone would criticize the very person who is helping boost the league's popularity.
But you want to boycott the one player, looking right at you, Angel Reese and A'ja Wilson, one player that has caused the revenue to go way up in the monetary values. That's what you want to do. You think you're helping these women?
Let's be honest, the WNBA has never experienced this level of attention. Indiana Fever games are selling out like major concert events. ESPN is constantly adding more WNBA coverage, and social media is flooded with highlight clips and Caitlin Clark discussions. But instead of celebrating this momentum and capitalizing on the excitement, some seasoned players and segments of the fan base are reacting as if it's a threat. It seems the real challenge isn't mediocrity or lack of exposure, it's handling success, especially when that success is driven by Caitlin Clark.
The original fans, activist fans, that's what they are, all right? Just keeping it real. They don't like the fact that you want to watch these games. They don't like the fact that you are 3 or 4 times the amount of them.
Have you seen the news lately? There's a full-blown fan clash brewing over the fact that Caitlin Clark's games are being nationally broadcast 41 times this season, more than any other player in the league. Some folks are so upset, you'd think she committed a personal offense. Social media is overflowing with exaggerated calls for boycotts, as if we're living in a dramatic teen novel, all because one rookie had the audacity to attract attention.
Right here, Caitlin Clark in the Fever will have more nationally televised game than any NBA player this year. Sorry, LeBron. Sorry, Luka. Sorry, every other player in the league. Let's be honest. I've seen the NBA ratings. She's beaten most of them.
As it is to believe, there are WNBA fans, yes, full-grown adults, who are seriously organizing boycotts of certain games just to hurt the ratings. Think about that. Being so upset over someone else's success that the master plan is to sabotage the league's own momentum. And this isn't just some obscure online chatter. Some of the voices pushing for these boycotts are connected to WNBA, media circles, openly telling people to skip broadcasts or resort to unreliable streams, as if that's going to send some grand message to ESPN.cl. iPhone. Here's the truth. Caitlin Clark isn't just standing out among WNBA stars, she's on pace to surpass some of the biggest names in the NBA. This season, she has more nationally televised games than LeBron James, Luka Doncic, Steph Curry, and Kevin Durant. That's not a coincidence. It signals a major shift in the basketball spotlight. This isn't just about airtime. It's about who's leading the conversation in basketball culture right now. And like it or not, that spotlight isn't on A'ja Wilson.
So they're all mad right now, furious, and my goodness, guys, they're talking boycott. Oh, what? Oh, there's strength in numbers. There's tens of you.
Let's talk about A'ja Wilson for a moment, because if envy counted, as a stat, she'd be leading the league. While Caitlin Clark is out here breaking viewership records and filling arenas, Wilson seems more focused on posting vague tweets than putting up numbers. Instead of embracing the wave of new attention, coming to the WNBA, she's been throwing shade like it's part of her daily workout. It's almost surprising to see someone as accomplished as Wilson come off so defensive. You'd think Caitlin was gifted her own network and a championship parade the way some are reacting. What's wild is that Wilson isn't actually losing. anything. She's just not used to sharing the spotlight. She's held center stage for years, largely unchallenged. Now, someone younger, more dynamic, and undeniably marketable enters the scene, and suddenly it's all Caitlyn's getting too much attention, or the league is playing favorites. Here's the truth. Attention isn't handed out, it's earned. And while Clark has been putting on a show every night, Wilson's giving off strong older sibling energy in a group chat that suddenly has a new favorite.
And yes, I understand. This is a very, very small minority. It is a very small minority of people, but it is a loud, vocal minority. And this is not the general public. This is not the general population.
You'd think a 3-time MVP would feel a bit more secure in her legacy. But watching Aja Wilson respond to Caitlin Clark's rise feels a bit like seeing a streaming star come to terms with their show getting overshadowed by a new hit. It's not Caitlin's fault that fans are tuning in for her. Not for vague social media posts. The spotlight naturally follows the story, and right now, Wilson's playing the role of the reluctant rival in a drama she didn't need to join. What's really happening is this. A small but vocal group of longtime WNBA fans, those who've been around since the days of half-full arenas and halftime t-shirt tosses, are suddenly feeling like their tight-knit circle just went public. They supported the league through the quiet years, and now that it's gaining mainstream momentum thanks to Clark, they're reacting like someone scuffed their collector's item. But growth doesn't erase history. It just builds on it. And right now, the story is expanding whether they're ready or not.
Aja Wilson is her name. Well, doesn't matter what we all do as black women, we're still going to be swept underneath the rug. That's why it boils my blood when people say it's not about race, because it is.
Let's be real. This so-called boycott movement isn't about fairness or justice. It's about ego. It's being driven by a small group of longtime fans and players who would rather see the league take a step back than watch Caitlin Clark become the face of its future. Some media.
We're not supposed to talk about it out loud, maybe. That's a massive part. Straight white girl's a big part of it, too. I mean, it's out loud. It's out loud. It just came out of my mouth like that. Just easy peasy. So they're mad, and they are calling for boycotts.